pain at the back.
Where?
Here. So it was more intense when I was writing. It's there since I started to write that.
Where?
Your left-handed.
But what were you writing about?
Self-image. What's that? There, yeah.
It's in the notation. It's the whole dynamic about, especially when males are not like supposed to feel anything about themselves, emotions, feelings.
Okay.
Were you like, would you look a lot more structurally at things like how you were doing it or what you were doing or things like that, but not so much in how you were really experiencing yourself, feeling. Like, it's like walking through memories and things like that where you were involved with something or someone, and whatever you're writing about, you have to go in a lot more deeper because there's a lot of things that you were experiencing but you weren't so honest about inside you.
In certain events.
Yeah.
Okay.
So whenever you're writing about yourself, have a look at how you were experiencing yourself.
If you're not going to go back and looking at yourself and you write about the correction before you have done the correction, the actuality of every memory thing is going to compound. And you're going to go into physical resistance, which is pain, because the change can't happen effectively because you haven't gone through the process of removing the conditioning so that you can direct it. So then you've got to go into more detail. And that detail is the tough stuff, because that's the stuff you don't want anybody to know about.
Okay. I'm not even sure what it is now.
It'll be the secrets that you carry that you've never spoken about anyway, and it'll be during your lifetime that you go back to your fight for the pain. Any context to the point from the perspective of, say you would say something nice to a person, but in your mind you'll have a nasty thought. That will immediately become part of your design, and it will compound. And every single thing you have to look at. If you do not take it all out, you'll just go
and
back.
That's part of the image of self.
That's part of
where I was presenting something.
That's part of you. I mean, self-image is you.
I was writing about that today, about faithfulness.
So if you try and jump too fast in your process.
In the writing there?
Yes, if you jump too fast, you have to consider it, there's going to be consequence.
Because I'm not ready.
Your words don't equal who you actually are.
Yes, so there's going to be friction, problems, and eventual time loops.
Your words will haunt you. You just...
everybody wants to change. But if you are not technologically, space-time, specifically removing what you have allowed through a lifetime, there's going to be a consequence. And you're not going to get through it.
That is actually what Banyan I want to.
And the time loop becomes your teacher instead of you being directive. So now you get to a point you can't get further, you can't see it, there's nothing more,
looking at the point discussing
and you walk, but then something
like
hits you from the side,
how I took all the tools
and it takes you the time you're going to say, oh my God, now I understand, oh now I remember, oh now I see. Then you've got one point done, but it was a time loop. And now you start again. And so you keep on starting again and again and again and again until you make the commitment to first sort you out. And then you do yourself forgiveness from that perspective, day one, sorting yourself out. If you look at that book, Virus to the Mind, I showed the process practically. to walk through in deconstructing yourself. Technology. The mind is a machine, and you have constructed yourself according to the machine. And that machine is self-functioning. Without you having to do anything, it functions. Thought functions. You function. All of it, and you are a very small part of this functioning machine. Your awareness, your consciousness. The rest is all automated. So it's a problem if one do not confront the real issue is get out what you have accepted and allowed. So the context of your forgiveness must be done in the context of the forgiveness you have already done thus far. You haven't done much, and then you start at the beginning.
Okay.
I have started so many times over and over and over through the years because
You want to know every
I
time you
didn't
start.
go and didn't walk. It's step by step. You jump the point. Jump to if you don't jump to a conclusion, for instance, that you have somehow attained something, but your context only includes you still, there's a problem. If you have not been able to walk into any situation which may, events-based situation without a reaction, you haven't done it. If an event can make you react, or a little bit of difficulty, that's how you test yourself. That's why you walk in the matrix, as you can check. Am I still reacting? Is there still something I haven't considered? And you must remember, the stuff is a lot. So if you don't dedicate yourself every day, constructively, systematically, and it took me many years dedicating sometimes up to 8-9 hours a day on self-forgiveness. You're not going to get through it. It's a lie you're walking. You're not going to get it all done.
How did you find the time to?
Wherever you are, you can do forgiveness and do everything else. You can use a thing and do forgiveness. You can watch a movie and do forgiveness. You can do forgiveness anywhere all the time. It doesn't have to be in writing, you just do it so that you can hear and check your forgiveness. Watch the movie. Deconstruct yourself. Play a song, do forgiveness. Whatever it is, you do forgiveness. That's what every single thing I turned into forgiveness. Eating food, how you hold your knife, your fork, what you like, what you dislike. Everything, because it's all programmed. Then your blog is basically a realization based on the day's forgiveness in a way. Take a point, because it's only giving an example of how it must be done. It is not the end all of it. It is just like a slice of bread. It's not the whole bread. And you have to have your daily bread. So you have to do all the slices for the day.
There you go.
Okay.
Right. Yes. Otherwise, you see that point? That's trust that's violated.
Yes, that's what I was writing about that.
Yes, the trust is being violated.
Oh, I need it out.
My writing was beyond what I can handle.
It's not self-honest. You haven't walked the road, so if it's not self-honest, the body is going to say, but you're not trying to impose on me something that you haven't, in fact, done. You're taking knowledge and information and you're trying to imprint it on the physical. It's not going to work.
And the pain is from there.
There's going to be a conflict. Now what you have there is the muscles is contracted and it's busy preparing for a time loop. And then he's going to put you in a time loop. Your left eye is under pressure. And it's busy, it's already in the crystalline form, which is how the light is reflected within consciousness, and how it's creating the time loop. So it's designed already. So now you have to be extra careful that you do not follow emotions or feelings because they'll be misleading you.
Yes.
Breathe, breathe, breathe. You have to understand that you're in a reality of space-time where you have allowed yourself to be programmed over a period of time. As space, as a physical body, you have to program it. You have to take the program out in all its dimensions of time and space that it exists, that you have formed relationships that cause the automation of what you now have as your personality. And different personalities, obviously, depending on who's within your relationship immediately. That's a problem, I mean, because one need to get to awareness first. Then you can't follow the happy-clappy happiness view of it all because that will suppress the whole thing.
I was writing about that as well.
So it doesn't mean don't write about it. It means look deeper. It means look deeper. Get to the core of the problem.
Yes, but because I was writing the blog I was writing the self-forgiveness for the blog. I didn't want it to go into the specificity because we were supposed to write a general thing, right?
No, you have to write your blog, your life process. You can't, for instance, write how I write. I have already done that for you.
Yes, of course.
So when I write my forgiveness, it is based on the foundation of what I've already done.
Yeah.
Therefore, every word implies everything that I've done. And that's where you have to stand. Your foundation, sound, clear, whole. That every word, in every dimension of space-time, of your complete existence, is supported and supportive to you first. I mean, not the person reading it they'll either find support from what they're reading or they will react. They're reacting, they're not ready for that. They are somewhere else in their process. They find it supportive and they can grow from it. Then when they are starting to find a timeline.
What do you mean by finding that?
Timeline where you are in the process.
Okay,
The same if you listen to the interviews and you find you fall asleep, that's an indication of your timeline. You're not ready for that. You're not able to handle that information as breath. So you can't process the information. There's too much in terms of your capacity. You have to first forgive and create new capacity. Because with forgiveness, you delete what you have placed in memory and you create capacity, space. It's all in those books, explaining how you actually create capacity. Because what is really the functioning tool is your physical body. If you have thrown it full of knowledge and information, you're not going to have capacity. Now you can't grasp anything because you're already preoccupied. That means there's something there before you can see. And now it's a problem. You can only see what's already occupying you. Virus-free mind is all in there. You're preoccupied. That's why you'll be preoccupied with particular thoughts. They'll keep on coming up because they already exist inside you.
makes sense.
I mean, there's no easy way out of this. There's no magic.
There's some beings that talk through the portal and I can really stay awake and hear. And Sinette said it was beings that are more structured. So that would relate exactly to what she just said now as well.
I mean, different points will have a different effect. What you want to be aware of is where are you effective and where are you not. Where you're effective, that's cool. Where you're not, you have to give it attention. And that's your feedback. Until you get your feedback on the ground.
Weaknesses.
No, until you get your feedback on the ground. Because that's where you're earthed. Then the energy doesn't take you into another realm. Then you're here as the physical. So that will take time. Got it.
I do.
Still expressing the left side. Big time.
The left would be the feminine.
Yes, the feeling side. God.
Is it bad?
I mean, in terms of your relationship, for instance, with others, how much of what it is, what you really want and really want to live, are you suppressing? How much of it is due to a justification? It's all in the book, Guy's Free Mind. Justification is how it works, what to do, how to take it apart. How much of...
Can you repeat the question again?
This is a very difficult point. You're a male that has allowed yourself to be programmed in a very, very particular way. And therefore you'll have certain things that are dominant and certain things you will do as a matter of convenience. As a matter of, it suits me now. But that will mean you'll have to suppress certain points and push certain points forward. No between it. Because there's also fear if you don't. And maybe there's nothing else. But there's this desire, maybe there is something else. And all of those things you better watch because they are waiting. So that's why I say self-honesty is the key to really look at what is it that you're allowing inside you, because nothing is really hidden. It's only you're hiding it from everyone else, but in terms of the universe it's not hidden. Therefore the law will take you to consequence. And we are now in the age of consequence, where the physical will is taking the responsibility of directing all points of time loops as physical events. Yes, that I would suggest is not
advisable.
Oh no. There is much more than what we've even said so far. This is the end. You've got to really grasp it, because otherwise it will be so. And yet everyone knows it must come, but wait. As if they live forever. You don't. Whatever's got a beginning has an end. And look carefully. If you have a beginning, there is nothing before unless you try and make it up out of fragments of imagination. But you started here with nothing, just a breath and a body and a heartbeat. And you constructed you through what was around you to who you are today. Something that do not really understand itself. Lost in the maze of conflicting things that keep on jumping up. Feeling this way, feeling that way, what about that? What if I miss this, or maybe this is job? It is a constant chaos. So one's got to really look at it. The first foundation that is necessary is you as foundation. Who are you? That you have to establish by removing what you have allowed yourself to be, because that's unacceptable. Then you can create who you are as that which is best for life. To get to that, there will be interventions, discomforts, time loops. Rome wasn't built in a day. The physical body wasn't built in a day. Same principle. It took time, and it will take time to deconstruct yourself and to put yourself back together again then as that relationships, interactive, here, that represent as image and likeness that which is best for our life. Makes sense?
It does.
Keep it simple, yet directive. Remain self-honest.
Because sometimes it seems like, this is my experience, that I'm doing okay, I'm fine.
Everyone go through that because it comes from the mind. You're not following the process. That's why a process exists. The process is to make sure that you don't fuck with yourself. And sometimes in the process you're going to have to do things that seem easy. But you have to do it so that you can walk the path. The fact that when you are walking a path that some parts are easy and enjoyable and others are difficult is the same as physical space-time. That's how the process works. There is no shortcut. You have to, in fact, and when you are measured at the end of time, your process is measured. And the points that you have jumped will be placed in front of you. And you can't stand on them.
Sometimes I don't know what to do or how to correct it.
You can't correct anything yet. You only can correct the immediate relationships as they occur. All you can do
That's
is...
what I mean. Sometimes I don't know what to do. I don't know if I'm going to be self-honest according to this situation.
You know one thing, that what self-honesty really is in any situation is that which is best. And if you are not able to support a particular point, or the point will harm, or you are interfering with another relationship, you must stop. Whatever you do, you must take responsibility for life. That is self-honesty. You can have nothing else where you put your hand in, because that will have consequence. You can also not take responsibility to help another if you're not going to stand with them for life. It's a marriage, a commitment. So whatever you do, you can never contextualize anything unless it is going to be such.
Yes.
I mean, that's self-honesty. Makes sense.
Does.
The other point where one look at it from a point of maybe self-honesty means I can help a person. That's not true. That's your desire speaking. And you're trying to justify the desire according to the opportunity that it may present and what you can get from it. That's greed. You have to get it out. Everybody has got that shit. But that you counter with the fact that I will not stand this point for eternity, so therefore it is not my point. And therefore I pay attention to my point and I go to that. Therefore each person will have only a few relationships that they have to tend to.
Makes sense.
So that one can remain self-honest, first of all, while we recreate what is here. But obviously we have to recreate what is here from the context of who we are as the here, as the physical now. We have to get rid of what is not here, which is the mind. The illusions, the feelings, the emotions, all those things that's created. The desires, the knowledge. Your knowledge you can't trust. Because your knowledge will give you an idea about what to do about something based on your experience, but your experience is based on a fucked up world, so how can you trust your experience? So your experience will take you where you will then interfere, where you're not able and willing to take responsibility for the consequence and remain with that person for life. I mean, if you discover you have AIDS now and you give it to someone in a one-night stand, your responsibility is to stay with that person for life. Does that make sense?
Yes.
it's not worth doing what you're doing. Therefore, focus on, as I was saying, suppressions is because you are playing games. It is dangerous because you are equating what you can do as if it is value when it is not yet value. So careful with how you look at things from the perspective of your knowledge and information. I found the best part in the beginning when I was doing this to remain silent, to limit my participation with everyone, and to focus on my process. Because that's where I made the least mistakes. So I virtually isolated myself and only did that which was necessary for my day-to-day living and the commitments I had. I did that. The rest of the time, I limited expanding that until I had complete directive principle.
Within that, and then you list other points.
And then you can do, if you have third directive principle, then you expand.
Because you have to test out the stuff that
How else are you going to get to trust you? You're going to make many mistakes. I mean, I've made millions of the fucking things every single day. How many fucking times? You know, it's, okay, this is the point, then it isn't the fucking point. You do it. Wasn't effective. Fucking do it again. Check. Can I walk this point? No, I can't. I'm still falling. There's still a fucking thought. Redo it. Do it again.
And you were doing that directively. You were aware that you were working on a point, that you missed it, and then you tried again.
Yes.
Okay.
You only can work one at a time, so you work one at a time.
Okay.
I'm not working at lots of points at a time. I work one at a time. Then I redo it until I get it. Then, for a moment, I'll rest, take a coffee, do a break, and then the next point is there, then I take it. I got it to the point where I'll have a moment of like silence, no energy moving, then the energy will start moving, then I know the next point is here. Let me find it.
What do you mean?
The energy starts moving.
But in what context?
Either I've got a form of discomfort, or there's suddenly an excitement, or any form of energy.
Just by being quiet by yourself alone,
It'll
or
start.
in the context of
No,
being with someone?
it'll just start, and then I'll take a book and I'll look for the point until I find the point that is, this is what the point is. I read the words, do self-forgiveness, and then I walk the point. You can obviously wait for the event to take place, but that takes a long time. That's why it's a process. The process assists with getting to the points faster without having to go through the hell of earth. But, I mean, most seem to not want to hear that.
Most here?
Even in the group.
Even in the group.
In the group, most do not walk the points as effective as they could. And therefore the process is longer.
When you, this seems to be like my structural thing, talking. When you say you look at the point, you look at the book and you read and you find something and then you're going to forgive, but you're going to have to go out and test it, right? That you
That
are.
I do manually. So I walk the point. I don't
So you would
deliberately
look
for a
for-
test, because
You would look for points to forgive, and then if the point appears, then you would
see if I can
test
handle
it.
it.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm not deliberately looking for it, because then I'm designing it.
Yes.
I just walk,
Okay.
and it will be presented.
Okay.
That's the only way the test is real.
Makes sense.
I mean, when it comes, I'm going to respond. Either my response is effective or it's not.
If it's not, you will.
Then I do redo it.
I understand.
I don't fuck around, because I mean, it's my fucking life. It'll be stupid to fuck around with that shit.
No one taught you this? Was it just something
I take self-forgiveness, and I found it worked. And therefore I decided I will continue doing it until I find out what it does. I mean, it made me better. So I kept doing it. It worked better and better. And better and better and better. And then it started to disappear.
What started to disappear?
What started to disappear? All the stuff that was occupying, all the stuff that, yes, that started to disappear faster and faster, but also getting bigger because they had more space to move. So the more space to move they have, the bigger they became. So the closer you got to getting through, the bigger the issues. Small issues will become like fucking mountains. Single words will become a whole fucking universe. Then you know you're getting somewhere. Because you've created the space and time within yourself, within which it can move to present itself to you as a much bigger thing than what it is. You'll see the context of the problem much clearer, but initially there'll be just a fucking lot of shit you have to deal with. And it'll be seemingly fairly small. It's just because there's small space-time to move within you. There's not a lot of hard drive space and memory left in you.
I'm full of shit.
And you've been exposed in the last couple of years to a matrix that's been out to imprint everyone with maximum information so we can get the process done. That's how you get the shit out, is you make it full of shit. So that was one of the first steps that was implemented. Have a look, now we have it like everywhere.
Is it what?
Everywhere. This knowledge and information imprint is like thundering down on everyone the whole fucking time. And while the person's not ready to change yet, they're not full of shit yet. That means they are not completely loaded with knowledge and information yet. They're still busy gathering all the shit. Therefore, they're not ready for the process yet.
I see.
So now, you're not really ready for your process yet because you're not completely done with it yet. So, therefore, yes, that's why you still have distractions. So but it's possible to shortcut it and to say, now I take responsibility, which means you have to deliberately take in more knowledge and information about the world as fast as possible.
When you say that, you mean the system?
Yes, news, reading, everything possible. You can do it deliberately about what's going on in the world. Each person's process is going to be directly related to the knowledge and information they take in.
Yes.
And therefore your responsibility will be directly related to that.
Okay, yes, that makes sense.
Got it.
Yes.